And blessed to be a part of your day once again at the Nampa Walmart, living the dream at 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Coming up next, Roy Moore answers the allegations. More come out. And do you believe Judge Moore? You can always go to KIDOTalkRadio.com. I just put up a blog there talking about Judge Moore based on my 6 years of covering him in Alabama, based on my knowledge of the folks there. I know we live in Idaho, but this story continues to resonate. And I know so many of you wanted to call in and voice your opinion. Many of you believe that Judge Moore is getting run, and we'll see if that plays out. So we'll take your calls on that. Also, the story concerning, people vandalizing cars, what's happening to our beloved Treasure Valley. And I sense a disturbance in the force when it comes to the race for Congress. I can't figure out what it is in the first CD, but I think we're going to see some big movements today. Now remember, I'm not saying if, but when this happens, you heard it from your old friend Kay Milley. And speaking of an old friend, our great friend Chris is joining us from the Boise Rescue Mission. So good to have you with us, Chris.
Thank you, Kevin. Good to be here.
It is a time of year where it is top of mind to give a turkey, not be a turkey, to give gifts, not accept them. So let's talk a little bit about the Boise Rescue Mission and your work in ministry, your work in reclamation, your work in serving your fellow brothers and sisters. Why?
Why? Well, because when we look around, like if you had a camera on, you can see some men back here. And
well, there's no camera.
Right.
It's just you and me. I know it's a little early, Chris.
No, I said if there was.
Sure. Let's just go with answering the question. Trust me, I get enough of that from Reverend Bill.
What a great guy.
Indeed. Back to you at KIDO Talk Radio.
The people that we see coming through our doors, be it to come in for emergency shelter or to come in for our drug and alcohol program. There are many lives out there that are hurting, and they are seeking refuge. They're seeking help. They're seeking hope. And I feel blessed, as I believe the other staff do, to be utilized in such a capacity to help to speak truth into the lives of thousands and to do what we can to point them to Jesus Christ and to point them to a life filled with hope, filled with joy, filled with happiness.
Again, bringing people back, that is what you do. What is the need like here in the Treasure Valley? Many of us we live in our bubble. We live in our whatchamacallits. We do our own thing. What are the real issues here when we're talking about drugs, when we're talking about violence, when we're talking about things that most of us will hear about at KIDO Talk Radio but never experience?
When it comes to the need, if our listeners could come down to any of our shelters, in fact, I would encourage them to come visit all the shelters, they will see the need that is there. If they were to drive down the street, drive down the boulevards, they can see the need around. They can see the people who are holding up the signs. The need is there, and we're just a small segment of it. The need is there for more housing for families. We wish that we could do it all, but at this point in time, we are able to do what we are able and gifted to do, and with what the community is able to assist us with.
Sure. And that's where you come in to give a turkey, not be a turkey. We'd love to see you here at the Walmart. If you can't make it in Nampa, you can go to any Walmart location, and you can buy turkey bucks, and for $15, you can feed Treasure Valley families. Final thought from my man, Chris. What does the holidays mean for people, for men at the mission? We talk a lot about the women, but the men, when we're talking about Thanksgiving and Christmas, what is it like for them?
I believe it is similar to the women. You have many men that the holiday times, in fact, I was talking with a gentleman yesterday, and that a lot of the times, the holiday times are down times. They're sad times. Because they see where families get together and friends get together, and many of them did not grow up in that kind of environment where the family was a strong unit. And for them to be in an environment like the rescue mission where they feel love, where they see the love of God, where they can even pour out themselves to others through the serving of meals and, coming to the holiday dinners and whatnot.
Right.
It really means a lot to them.
Indeed. Chris, thank you.
Thank you, Kevin.
Awesome job as always. Phone numbers here, 580-5436, 580-KIDO. So getting back to this issue of what you can do, people say, what can a turkey do to make a difference? It can make a big difference in the lives of so many people here in the Treasure Valley. But we do have new allegations coming out of Alabama. Let's take a listen.
Roy Moore stood by his wife at a press conference yesterday and called the latest allegations against him absolutely false.
I never did what she said I did. I don't even know the woman. I don't know anything about her.
It was a response to claims by Beverly Young Nelson yesterday, who said Moore assaulted her in the late 1970s when she was a 16-year-old waitress. Moore says he's not familiar with the restaurant, where Nelson says he was a regular customer. He called it a political maneuver. Nelson is the fifth woman to come forward with accusations of sexual misconduct against Moore. Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
And there is anger in the conservative movement, not only in the state of Alabama, but in the state of Idaho and across the country, where people are wondering at 580-5436, 580-KIDO, the issue involving Roy Moore. And do you believe Roy Moore, or do you believe these women that after 40 years have come forward? Let's hear from Judge Moore.
I never did what she said I did. I don't even know the woman. I don't know anything about her.
And it continues on, Judge Roy Moore from Alabama.
I want to make it perfectly clear. The people of Alabama know me. They know my character. They know what I've stood for in the political world for over 40 years. And I can tell you without hesitation, this is absolutely false.
So it comes down to who do you believe? And in this era of Harvey Weinstein, in this era of Tom Sizemore and everyone else, does Judge Moore get the benefit of the doubt? You have the Republicans saying that they're going to, if he gets elected, they're going to not seat him in the Senate. Now, again, you take a look at what happened with President Clinton. I know that's very old school, but the Democrats stood by him. You take a look at what has happened with other folks, and there doesn't seem to be any repercussions. Now, I find it hard to believe that after 40 years, somebody would make this up. And then you have Judge Moore. I go back to this, and as many of you know, and maybe many of you don't know, over 10 years ago, there was a case in Durham, North Carolina, the Duke lacrosse case. I broke that story nationally. I was there when all the networks came in. I was there when they persecuted 3 innocent boys for allegedly raping a young lady who her allegations turned out to be false. Now, these men, 2 of the 3, came from wealth. In fact, they did a 30 for 30 on it. And if you watch 30 for 30, you'll see Nancy Grace with a much younger Kevin Miller covering this case. And like a lot of people, I wanted to believe that those folks were guilty. This is my own experience. The presumption of innocence was lost. In the age of social media, in the age of 24/7, in the age of we don't like Donald Trump, in the age of that Roy Moore is extreme, where is the presumption of innocence in America today?
Isn't it strange that after 40 years of constant investigation, people have waited to 4 weeks prior to the general election to bring their complaints? That's not a coincidence. It's an intentional act to stop campaign.
There we have it. By the way, the people of Alabama voted. They voted not for Mo Brooks, the congressman. I think Alabama 5 or 7. They didn't vote for Luther Strange, Big Luther as he's called. And that's his name, Luther Strange. Sounds like a villain, right? Former football player from the University of Alabama. A lot of money was poured into the Strange campaign. Even President Trump endorsed him. Now, again, why is this important? Because on social media, on talk radio, everybody is talking about this race. At 580-5436, 580-KIDO, your thoughts, number one. And number two, it goes down to, where is the Republican Party? Should they stand by Judge Moore? And Judge Moore is a threat. Steve Bannon had this to say at KIDO Talk Radio.
I think there's going to be some pretty interesting stories about how that information got dropped and who paid for it and who weaponized it.
Well, again, Steve Bannon's on the case. So we'll take your calls on that one. I know it's a little early, but we didn't get to many of your thoughts yesterday. So Judge Roy Moore, does he have the presumption of innocence, or do you believe the women that say, look, this guy was very powerful in Etowah County, Alabama, a county of about 104 or 140,000 people, and this is the same guy that fought the Ten Commandments, that has had some cases that make conservatives go, yes. Does he get the benefit of the doubt? And again, he's no favorite of the Democrats. He's certainly no favorite of the Republicans, very much like the president. Now, how is this different from our beloved Gem State? Well, here, as I have found out through covering the general election, the primaries, Donald Trump is not beloved here in the Treasure Valley. Now, we have people like our great friends Liberty Linda and Tea Party Bob. But remember who won the Idaho primary? It was, say it with me now, Senator Cruz. And you have a lot of people that were Cruz delegates that were not excited about the president. In Alabama, the president's very popular. Jeff Sessions is his attorney general. You say Donald Trump and your ratings go up 1,000 points. You say Donald Trump here and it's a little mixed bag. So that's how we're different from the state of Alabama. And look, we're going to throw out the topic. If you want to talk about it, great. If not, we drive on. And again, remember, we're asking you to donate turkeys. We had so many people come by, but the need is so great. And by the way, I want to thank our friends at Channel 7, Larry Gebert, Maggie, Doug, Mark, Kim, Dee, Joe King. Did I leave anybody out?
I think you're good.
Okay.
Yeah, you got Mark in there. Good.
Yeah, thanks, Joe. Okay. Joe's the fact checker here today. It was such a wonderful
I've been
story.
investigated more than any other person.
Yeah, thanks, Roy Moore. We'll get back to you in a minute. It was operator error from Kevin Miller here. It was so great to see KTSY Radio, Channel 7, and KIDO Talk Radio. But let me just say this about Channel 7, and I say this all the time. They are a special outfit. They really, from the top to wherever, they really believe the idea that a broadcaster should serve their community. And they do. And I've seen it. And it's a standard that we try to live up to. We try to follow their lead. So the fact that they came out here and did this and had a little fun, I thank Channel 7 and I thank everybody there. They do just such a terrific job. Let's go to Hank in Boise with Kevin Miller at KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Hank.
Good morning.
I'm doing well. I hope you're doing well. I'm gonna have a cup of coffee so my voice doesn't sound like I've aged 30 years. Go ahead, please.
Oh, okay, I understand, and I can tell just on here that your voice is a little bit scraggly there. But
kind of like my mind.
Well, I don't know if I would agree with that. but I'll point out it's more and more apparent that this is a setup. If Moore was sitting there just trying to bang away on all these ladies and all this stuff, this obviously would have come out much earlier. There were stories about Clinton all the way back in Arkansas, even before he was running for president. And all of a sudden, these stories are coming out conveniently with Moore. It's still a bit too pat. And the other thing that disturbs me is the attitude of McConnell. He's prepared to destroy the Republican Party if he can't control it. And, it's rule or ruin, and I think it has implications not only for the Republican Party but for the country as a whole. And what's wrong with these Republicans that they're so gutless that they can't sit there and defend something that's obviously is something that's bad and is wrong? It's just they're a bunch of cowards. They're a bunch of reprobates. And the thing is that this is going to start a civil war within the Republican Party. It's not going to end. And I think that McConnell needs to go. His whole political record back then was Rockefeller over Goldwater back in 1964. And when it came in the struggles for control of the Republican Party in the 70s between Reagan and Ford, he was one of the Ford backers and in the party. And I remember the struggle between the conservatives and Reagan back in the 70s. You know, when Butch Otter was supposedly going to be the Reagan person running for the state national committeeman against David Little, who was Brad Little's father back in 1976. But I mean, the point getting at it is McCall's never been a conservative. He's always been an establishment man from the way back. And we need a genuine conservative leadership in there. He needs to go. And I think what he's done to Moore is despicable.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Hank.
Well, thank you, and hope your voice gets better.
Thank you. Appreciate it. 580-5436, 580-KIDO. We're here at the Nampa Walmart collecting turkeys, asking you to give a turkey, not be a turkey. Coming up, a big announcement. By the way, we do expect some movement within the 1st Congressional District race within the party. We'll see what that happens on that. That should be breaking today. We'll get your thoughts on that race as well. But do you believe Judge Roy Moore? And to play devil's advocate with Hank, you know, what about the side of these young ladies who believe or have said that they were attacked? Why would they make it up?
To be attacked for allegations of sexual misconduct contradicts my entire career in law.
580-5436, 580-KIDO. You're listening to Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio.
Hello, my name is Simone. I am currently still in the New Life program at the Boise Rescue Mission. I recently started my internship in events with Kelsey, and she's just been a blast to work with and just has shown me like the ins and outs and how to communicate and what to do when I need help with situations. And so I started out coming into the mission just really extremely broken and just didn't know how I was going to even cope with my emotions, just hardcore meth addict, and it was a really tough situation. I had been just in the hospital in and out for about 5 months. You know, six times within 5 months it was a huge record for me, and it wasn't a good one to really have. So I've currently started developing with the church and really being part of help planning a church, and that's been an opportunity that I never thought that God would make readily available to me. And just going out and volunteering in the community, and I just never thought those things would be on the forefront of my mind. I mean, I always thought that if I wasn't really making any money, and it just became something that I wouldn't be really interested in. And then when I started volunteering and plugging in with people and saying, hey, this is truly a joy, you know, and it gave me a whole new meaning to life. Food is kind of a universal thing to start developing a relationship. Oh, the family is just overwhelmed with joy. And not to mention the turkey, when they get that, it's not only that day that you get a meal, but you can have a meal for the second day and the third day, and so it's expanding your meal portions as well. So
there we have it. Our friend Simone, who was with us here live yesterday, talking about the benefits, the joys of the Boise Rescue Mission. Traffic and weather together.
Here's Channel 7's Eric Everett.
And you're listening to Kevin Miller at KIDO Talk Radio, live from the Nampa Walmart, where we ask you to give a turkey, don't be a turkey. Help our friends at the Boise Rescue Mission. More coming up next. Good morning, Maggie.
My name is Taylor. I'm a member of the New Life program here at City Light, and it has just opened the door to so many new things in my life. When I first got to City Light, I was a wreck. I was lower than low and didn't know how to change my life. I actually wasn't ready at the time. Ended up leaving and came back a couple short weeks later after God looked me in the face and said, it's this or you're not going to make it. And he guided me through those doors with hope all around me even when I felt hopeless, until I could get to a realization that this was God walking side by side with me. When you get to the last level of an elevator, you're ready to walk forward. When you get to the lowest level below the basement, there's no hope for you. You feel that you've lost everything in your life in just a few brief seconds. It doesn't take much to lose everything. It takes a long time to gain everything back. That's been the hardest part. I also have a 4-year-old son, and to feel like I could not take care of him made me feel hopeless and sad for him. City Light is amazing. When you first come through that door, everybody is so warm and welcoming, and that first time you walk through that door, that's the biggest thing. But it's really not as big as it is the courage and the strength that it shows in your character if you stay there. It's a blessing to turkey, everyone jokes, but turkey always remind me of Thanksgiving. And I always think of Thanksgiving as, like, with my family, we used to say what we're thankful for. And every single one of those children, when they receive a turkey, or Turkey Tuesday is what we do at the mission, and just the light of joy that it brings to their face with one another, because all of those children, each and every one of them, can tell you right off the bat what they are grateful for. To give a monetary donation to the mission is very important to us as programmers and other people in the mission, just because of the fact that there are some of the things that the mission can't provide for us. Such as certain medications. If somebody needs a certain type of clothing, or when we graduate, it helps them get started on a better future. There's so many different things.
And there we have it, a young lady describing what your donations, what your generous tax-deductible donations, your gifts of giving mean to our friends at the Boise Rescue Mission. Once again, we're here in Nampa at the Walmart, our home away from home. I don't know if I could ever talk the suits at the broadcast center of moving our radio station out here. It just feels like home. And that's what we're asking you, to help us, help others, to have a home for the holidays. Our friend Melissa is here, who has a story that she would like to share. And it's not a story, it's her life experience of what your generous donations have meant to her family, and how she's contributing now to making our Treasure Valley a better place. And by the way, we're going to be here till Saturday night at 6. Give a turkey, don't be a turkey. You can also go to any Walmart in the Treasure Valley and ask for turkey bucks. Now, I want to thank our friend Cindy, who had to tell the folks at the State Street Walmart, hey, I'd like some turkey bucks, I'd like to donate. Now, the Walmart here, they do a great job, but even if you have to go to the register and ask the nice checkout people, for $15, you can feed a Treasure Valley family for this Thanksgiving and this Christmas. So, Melissa, good to have you back with us again. Thanks for getting up so early here in our palatial tent that's warm about 60% of the time.
Yeah, it's kind of the weather around here. You don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah, indeed. And we could say that about life. You don't know what you're going to get.
Oh, absolutely. I've learned to quit trying to think I know what's coming, that's for sure. I know that a lot of people, I feel, are appreciative, but sometimes we just wish that, you'd step back and truly realize It is the small things that make even the biggest difference for some people. It may seem small to you. You know, you go home, you're planning, you got family coming for Thanksgiving. It's just what you do every year.
Right, and you think you're stressed out because you got Billy, Willie, and Nilly coming to town that are semi-obnoxious.
Oh, yes, and if that's the worst part of your Thanksgiving, then, you should truly take the moment to be blessed.
That is something to be thankful about, yes.
Yeah, and it's little things like that, because there are a lot of families, in the Treasure Valley that they're not even sure where they're going to be at, let alone if they even get a turkey.
Sure.
And I know myself, I was in that situation. I have 2 children who are growing too fast for their own good. And, we got put into a pretty rough position. And it was the Boise Women's and Children's Shelter that just opened their doors for us. No questions asked. And at first you feel like you're the worst person ever because that's where you're going. And then you walk in and these ladies, they don't look at you with judging eyes. They don't ask you why you got why you've gotten there, or, what happened. They ask how they can help. Well, you think, gosh, seriously, look at me. What could have happened? And there's not a single shred of, oh, you did this, or blame, or any of that when you come into the program that they're providing for families and children across the valley.
Sure.
And so, I get in there and I've got 2 small children, and
how old?
Oh, then one was barely over a year and my son was 4. Now we're pushing on 7 and going towards 11.
Wow.
So this happened a long time ago, and it's still.
So you're in there with 2 young children, nowhere to go, no money, no food, no resources, and all of a sudden you're surrounded by unconditional love.
Oh, and compassion. Absolute compassion. Most everyone on here, or anyone that's dealt with the Women's and Children's Shelter knows of Kelsey. But I knew her when she first came into the program to start helping. She was doing more volunteer time than actual working for them.
Sure.
And there's this funny story. We go way back, obviously. I met her when I was actually pregnant with my daughter. And, and it was just, there's never been a moment of oh man, look what you're going through with these ladies. They don't just see you that moment or while you're there.
Right.
This is a program that even after you leave, like I worked hard. They helped me. They got me into, housing, helped me find housing so I could get a place of my own, and then they helped me with all this stuff because I had nothing to put into it.
Did you ever think that was possible?
No, I felt like I was stuck in a hole. I honestly felt like I was stuck in a hole, and I had let my kids down.
What was your first holiday like there for you?
Actually, I was worried because I was so worried that this isn't what I had grown to know what Thanksgiving was, which is in a home of a family member and, surrounded by people that you've known your whole life.
Obnoxious Uncle Billy.
Yes, exactly. That
I can relate to that, yeah.
Just won't let you go.
Right.
But then this happened here, and you would have thought we were family, and there was a couple Uncle Billy's running around.
Sure. Sure. And you're listening to KIDO Talk Radio here, Miller's Mission. We are at the Garrity Walmart asking you to give a turkey, not be a turkey, or a cash donation. It's all tax deductible. And Melissa is sharing with us her experience. So you're at the mission. You have your first holiday there. What did that mean to have a good experience considering you were in such a vulnerable position?
Oh, it's there's no words to describe, the every day, the heart and love that these ladies and any of the people that help volunteer, whenever they can to just offer this opportunity and to make you feel like, it's not a good day because of where you're at, but it can be a good day because you're going to move forward. We're going to help you get up out of this. We're going to help you move forward. And then, like I was saying, once you get out of the shelter or their program or whatever, however, in all the ways that they help, that's not where it ends. They reach out to you. Hey, are you still doing okay? Hey, how are the kids? And they remember them by name and they want to know, and then they're surprised when they see how much they're growing. It's a family that you will always be a part of.
And that's where you can make a difference. Melissa, what are you doing now?
So I got out, and the ladies stayed in contact, and I really got lucky. God definitely stepped in and played his part like he always does, and I believe everything happens for a reason, and he brought me and my kids to who is now my husband, and together we've put a lot of hard work into building a cleaning company here in the Treasure Valley.
It's a lot of hard work.
Oh, yes.
Wow.
But what's nice is that it has taken me I started from a hole that I didn't think I could ever dig out of, to finding a man that showed me that I'm strong no matter where we're at or what's going on, and I got kids that couldn't be more amazing and helpful, and now our cleaning business is thriving. We're buying a house, and
that's great.
We have nice cars, and with that being said, the company we own, it's made giant steps in the last couple of years, and we're Clean Extreme, and with that, I believe that God has given us an opportunity to give back in more ways, which, I volunteer when I have the time because I show my kids it's the right thing to do. But right now with Thanksgiving, there's a lot of people that just need a little extra help for the holidays.
Sure.
And so with that, Clean Extreme wants to make a challenge today.
Okay.
That from now until we will be back, I'm under the impression that you're on until 9, correct?
Yes.
Okay, well, at 8:50, my husband and I will be back with a check, and what it is that every turkey that's turned in between now and 8:50, we will match it with $10 donation.
Wow, thank you.
Up to $500 to help out.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, and you're changing so many lives. So we need people to donate turkeys between now and 8:50.
Yeah, well, and I'll go to 9, but I would like to come on and let people know that their donations actually mean something more than just a turkey. It's the stuffing, it's the pie, it's the knowing that, it's going to be there for their kids.
Thank you, Melissa. We'll see you at 8:55.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And this will be donated from our family as well as Clean Extreme.
All right. Thank you. You're listening to Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio.
Hi, my name is Peggy. I'm the New Life Program Manager. I've been in this position for actually just a few months, but I have been with the mission in December. It'll be 8 years. I started volunteering. Every Tuesday, I sat at the front desk and answered the phone. And then one day, one of the admin assistants came and said, guest services need some help. And I said, no, I don't think I can do that. And she said, oh, yes, you can. So that's how my really 8 years started. I have never had an addiction. I've never been in trouble with the law. So my first thoughts were, I don't know if I could relate, because that's the perception of homelessness. And once I got started, I learned and I felt you don't have to have an addiction to love the people that are in the mission, that come for help. All they're looking for is a little space, a little time to be able to breathe, have somebody on their side, have somebody rooting for them, hugging them, letting them know that Jesus loves them We love them, and you're welcome. And by offering 3 meals a day for them and some support, some help finding a job, that's what they need. That's what they need. So it wasn't very long where I fell in love with my job. I fell in love with the ladies at the mission. Stories, when I started, I used to go home and cry because stories that have happened in their lives, I knew that I wouldn't have made it to be the age of 16. But as my years have passed, I no longer cry. Every now and then, maybe. But I see the success. I see them. They'll call me back and say, "Hey, Peggy, I've got my own place." They've always said, "Peggy, why don't you come? When I leave, I want to come back and visit." And I always give them the no. You don't want to come back and visit me. I want to see you out living your life. I want to see you shopping at Walmart like I do. And I see them there. So I don't know what I would do or where I would be if I didn't work at the mission.
And there we have it. We continue on with Miller's Mission here. I want to thank Melissa. Do want to thank Melissa's dad. And for everybody listening right now, if you donate a turkey between now and 8:55, Melissa and her cleaning business, Clean Extreme, will match that with a $10 donation. So we'd love for you to stop by here at the Nampa Walmart, Garrity and Franklin. Our great friend Bruce is with us. Bruce, good to have you with us here at KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning.
Good morning, Kevin.
You know, this is not your first rodeo with us here in the Treasure Valley. When you're talking about donating, we understand that time and money is tight, and we appreciate your generous donation.
For me, yeah, it's a little tight, but to me, I don't see how I can't donate. No offense, it's a turkey. It's only $20. And if everybody can't come up with at least, $10, $15 to donate, I don't know. I just, to me, I've got to, skip a Starbucks, whatever. Donate a turkey, give somebody something they don't have. Unlike a lot of the stories you hear today, you heard yesterday, I had a family. I had food on the table. I didn't have the sad stories that break my heart when I hear them. I had the Thanksgiving dinner at my uncle's, playing poker afterwards, and the great memories. And I like to think that even just one turkey brings somebody closer to what I had.
Anything else you'd like to say, brother?
God bless everybody.
God bless you. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Well, thank you, sir. We appreciate you, Bruce. Thank you very much.
Anytime, Kevin, anytime.
Traffic and weather together. And don't forget, the KIDO cash code word today is CAR. It is CAR. And that is brought to you by EGT Solar, the Treasure Valley's solar authority. Let's go to Pro Life on KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Pro Life.
Yes, the Roy Moore thing is hopefully going to bring down the Republican establishment. Even if Roy Moore were guilty, they should not be trying to replace him on the ballot, because he can become elected, and then all of that can shake out later, and they'll have a Republican senator. But they're so ridiculous that they're going to chance having a Democrat take that seat. And it's just really sick. Mitch McConnell has to be replaced. Cory Gardner, he's one of his aides. He's got to be replaced. And back in 1902, I don't think it's constitutional that a Senate cannot seat a member of its body, and it's not constitutional that a House of Representatives cannot seat one of their members. That's been tried. It happened, but to Utah officials, U.S. Senator Reed Smoot, in 1902, they tried.
Pro
to
Life, great point. Thank you, KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning.